Sure, Kawielo Masandawana. We're back with yet another preview of a Mamelodi Sundowns Football Club match, and this time we bring you the preview game ya Supersport United on Monday at Loftus at 1600 hours. A really odd day to play a football match. Rabs, how are you?
I'm not even
Ke sharp mfethu. Ke mo cheso le load shedding fela nje that's annoying.
Yeah, no. Re mo rata kaofela re tsamaya le
yena. Hey, sware surprise ya rona monna. Hey man. Yeah. Harry, let's before we get into the preview, let's talk about the MTN the Nedbank Cup draw, last 32 draw that took place on Thursday night. We got Richards Bay like last season, and we went on to win it last season. Do you think we'll defend it this season?
Yeah, no, I think we'll go out and defend our trophy. And the key part about this trophy is that it offers game time for players who are not regular. So I think the guys in Ntibasa game time, this is their opportunity to try and play. And also it will give us an opportunity to be able to rotate our squad. So I believe that we are going all out to defend the Nedbank Cup.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. With the depth that we have at Sundowns, there's no excuse not to win this trophy, man. And okay, the only thing that might count against us, okay, match fitness, yeah, some of the players. But I think because of the tight schedule and the fixture congestion, everyone will be match fit by the time we start this tournament, as well as the CAF Champions League. Let's talk about our opponents, Super Sports. They brought back a former coach of theirs, a coach that brought them so much success in his first stint with the club. I mean, he's the only coach to have won the league 3 times. He was the first coach to win the league 3 times in a row, if I'm not mistaken, because I think for us, when you won it 3 times in a row, it was Ted, and then Dolez, I think. You wouldn't know, you were too young. And you started to support the Sundowns 2016, so you wouldn't know. But I think it was Ted, and then Doneza. Yeah, I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. And yeah, he's back at Supersport. Gavin Rapelang, what have you made of him and Supersport so far?
I think he's a good coach. I think he's a coach that can try and deliver a trophy again at Supersport. And remember, there was a time where Supersport would win a single trophy in a season, and that hasn't happened in quite some time. So I think a coach like Gavin might try and win them a trophy. And I think he knows the culture of the team. He knows the team as a whole. As much as things have changed, but he knows the identity. And I think he's the right guy to try and Supersport. And coming to the performance of Supersport so far, I think they've done very well. I think the most difficult part, it will be them maintaining their position in the second position. I think that will be the most difficult part in the second round for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, Linda, to be quite honest, I've been really impressed by Gavin. I was skeptical him going back. I didn't think he'd be doing so well, but yeah, the job that he's doing at Supersport is really great. I honestly didn't think he would be where he is right now. I thought maybe he'd be fighting for top 8 doable. So I thought, yeah, utla winner, but not the way I start feeling season thing. It's really been impressive, and yeah, maybe he started doing video analysis now, so he's now, so hence he's doing so well now. And Rabs, I'm not sure if you watched the press conference. Yeah, this Derby, our coach Hulane Tebza Mawere. If you did, what did you make of how Coach Hulani started that press conference? Because the first thing that he mentioned. It's the long throw-ins, Tabasera, as well as the I can't remember. Was it the aerial
The
balls?
crosses.
The crosses, yes, yes. What did you make of that? Because to me, it was the mind games to Gavin to say, I know your plan. I know how your team approaches matches. I know your strengths. So I'm planning and I'm preparing for that. And if you don't fine tune your plan, I've got a plan for that. So remember how he used to do 100 goals like Pirates. He mentioned starting lineups of Pirates, and that it definitely gets into the mind. It's the opposition coach. So do you think it was planned? It was the mind games the way he started that press conference.
I think those are just mind games. And if you remember very well, Rulani worked with Pito Musimane for a long time, and Pito was a master of mind games. If you remember very well, the Nedbank Cup final that we played against Blom Celtic, Pito and Maduka were invited to SAFM, yeah, Thabiso, and Pito mentioned how Bloemfontein Celtics played, how Mabena is influential in the Blom Celtic squad, and Mabena had a terrible game and was substituted in the second half. So I think those are just bad games. But him saying he knows how Supersport plays and pulling out those stats that they had about their team that has most crosses, you can identify how a team plays, but to stop them, it is another story. Remember, Mamila spoke about how Sundowns plays, and everyone knows how Sundowns plays. But to stop that, it is the most important and difficult part to execute.
Yeah, no, I'm laughing. I love the coach that Coach Hulan is becoming. Absolutely love it. Yeah, there are a lot of things that he said in that press conference that I loved. But yeah, let's talk about Super Sport now. Raps, is there a title race? Is there a title race between the two Pretoria teams? Because there's a 13 points gap and Supersport between us and Supersport, and they have a game in hand. Is there a title race?
There's only a single team in South Africa that can close a gap of 13 points, and that is Mamelodi Sundowns. And at this moment, we are cruising on top, and there's no team that will catch us. So I think if we were number two, and any other team was number one, I think it was going to be doable. But if Sundowns is on top, my man, it is difficult to catch them.
Yeah, no. Every episode that we record, hey, yeah, no, your overconfidence. Yeah. But to be honest, I also don't think there's a title race. Yes, Coach Ulani says there's never been a title that's been won at January. And that's how you should. That's what you should drill into the players. He's a professional coach. I'm not. I'm just a content creator. So in my opinion, there's no title race. I think this is in the bag because, like you said, if it was the other way around, I would say yes, there's a title race. But the quality that Sundowns has, the gap that they've opened, the depth in the squad, the experience, the know-how of how to win this thing, man. It's yeah. So, but I get why a professional coach would he won't be
Yeah.
reckless like me. Now, like I can afford to be reckless with such statements. But yeah, because he has to drill into these guys. Where hey, you need to keep winning. You need to keep winning. So that it also prepares them for the Champions League, the last cup competition in the season. Let's look at the stats at Super Sports. They are currently second on the league. They've played 15 games. They won 8 games. They drew 3. They lost 4. They've scored 20 goals, conceding 14. Goal difference, I want to give 6. They are currently sitting on 27 points. They average a total of 9.93 shots per game and then 4.50 on target. the second highest scorers in the PSL after us Sundowns. And then when you look at the number of shots that they average, it's not too. There's not much of a. When you look at the gap between Ronaldo Bona in terms of the number of shots they take, it's not that huge, you know. We take 12.94 shots we average 12.94 shots per game, and then 5.94 on target. So you can tell why Bakora so much, because they take a lot of shots per game. So I think this will be a game full of goals, and hopefully they will be they will be scored by the team in yellow. And let's talk about the approach here. Yeah, Supersport. I will go first. I think the obvious the Kitabaya Basera, the long into the long throw-ins, ne? But the danger doesn't necessarily come from the throw-in. It comes from the second ball. How we compete for that second ball will be very crucial, because he throws the ball into the first pole, and then they look for a flick on either into the small box or just outside for players coming in. So the second ball, it will be very important. Can you throw into Basera? And they will look into bullying us these long throw-ins, because they've got they've got a lot of height in their team. There's Gabuza, there's Robla, there's Tyson and Ditokwe. If those two the last two that I mentioned do play, so they look to bully us. And then there's Reyners, someone who hasn't started a lot of games in recent times for Supersport. But because Reyners tormented us so much on both flanks and created both goals in our last game against them, I think he's definitely going to start Reyners. Not just because of that, because I think with the long balls that they'll be playing, Reyners is also dangerous second ball, running behind the defense. I think Grobler wins the first ball, he flicks it, and then Reyners runs behind the defense. So I think he will definitely start into those two. And then I think without Tyson, what I've picked up with Tyson Lidi Basera doesn't overlap as much on the left. Instead, when they attack, Basera comes inside and forms a back three. I think the plan is to offer protection, because Hlapo, as much as he's an kind of game player, right, positions in that.
He's versatile.
As much as he's versatile, he's not good at all at center back. So Basera, with his experience, he offers protection. And then there's Mfanole Masego. Masego kamole ka lefting, and the one thing that he does is cross the ball and find a Robler as early as possible. So it will be very crucial for Mfanole to cut the supply. Even if I'm not saying like we neglect Robler, but make sure he doesn't get that supply. In their last game, against Arrows, the one thing that I picked up, the number of times Lungule, Maswangai alternate. Maswangai would start le Hobla up top, and then Achinch Atlekamo writing, and then Lungu Abe close to Hobla. So I think that's one of those things that we need to look at and know who, if Maswangai Ayahari, the left back Mudiba passes him on, and if Atla Kamu Saite, the two center back pass him on to Mudiba, they don't follow him. They need to be careful, that thing Yabona alternator. Wena?
Yeah, no, I think you've mentioned the number of shots that Supersport make per game. I think the reason why they have those kind of shots, I think it is because of they play a lot of long balls to the half of the opposition. They're a team that doesn't spend a lot of time trying to build up, because of if you are trying to build up, maybe the ball gets dispossessed in the middle field. But Supersports, they play that long ball, and that long ball makes it quicker for them to arrive inside the box of their opponents. Hence, they have those kind of shots. And you spoke about the importance of Basera in throw-ins, but the important part in this Supersport team it has been the partnership and the energy of Ndlovu and Grand Mahaman. I think in this game, they'll miss a guy like Grand Mahaman. He has won a couple of man of the match. He has created goals, more especially from crosses. And we know that Supersport, when it comes to a set plays, they score a lot of goals. And they'll definitely miss the aggression and the height of the likes of Tlajwayo and Dihloko, because of, if we can look at the goals that Supersport have scored in all the games of the PSL, Ditloko has a goal, Tessin has a goal, and Basera has a goal. So it shows that Gavin Hunt has always been that guy that can get goals from his defense. He doesn't rely only on his forward players, like in the past where Morgan Gold would score, Ricardo Kata and Bo Bongani Kumalo will get in the score sheet. And we spoke about Maseko and Lung. Those are direct wings. They want to get behind our fullbacks and deliver those crosses. So I think our fullbacks should be smart, whereby they force them to get inside where there's congestion and where they have to make tricky decisions in order to escape the press or to create the space. And there's obviously Hobble. I think if you can try and silence Hobble, I think we stand a chance of not conceding a goal, because of most of the goals they are scored by Hobble. You mentioned Masangai. I still say Supersport plays better when they play for a single strike, because of, if they have Masangai as a 10, that means there's a lot of creativity. Unlike they play with Hobla and Gabuz. Those are two number nines who rely on supply from the other players. But with Masangai as a 10, I think his creativity and also his eye for a goal offers the team much more better than what Gabuza offers the team.
Yeah, true. With Gabuza, what you're getting. I remember one game. We mentioning Coach Pizzo a lot, man. One game, Red Lalal Super Sport, and then they were playing Hobla only up top, and then they brought in Tammy, and Coach Pizzo made an immediate substitution and brought in a tall defensive midfielder or a center back, but Nilmang, but to compete later. And like you said, Grant has been really brilliant this season. They're going to miss him badly. I think they are going to miss him more than they're going to miss Goss, because the last time we played them, I think Chigova had one of his best games. I think it was probably man of the match in that match. So I don't think they'll miss Goss as much. Let's move on to Sundowns ups. I didn't honestly watch a game, our last game against Chiba. Unfortunately, I couldn't watch the full game. What did you make? Did you see any difference between how we play with Rush and Mvala versus how we play with Mvala and Papa Titi?
I think our defenders have a lot of similarities. So sometimes it is difficult to spot the difference between them as individuals. But with the other part is that Mvala was forced to play, I think, as a right center back. And when he plays with Papa Titi, which is Kekan, he plays as a left center back. So I think that was a change from the team that I've witnessed. But in terms of the performance, I think it was difficult to tell because of our center backs have similarities in their game. But Grant Kekana offers us more on the ball because of his intelligence to pick a pass. And it's something that Roshini Onaliona, but high channel Grant Kekana, because Grant Kekana, he's good on the ball and he can spot those passes that will enable us to move forward faster.
Okay. In that game, the player of the season in the last 2 years, and the top goal scorer, Peter Shalulile, came back. What does his return mean for us or to us and to the oppositions? Because I feel like for us, he's gonna. Yes, we've changed how we play, and compared to the last time he played before he got injured. Like Coach Hulani said, he has to get to grips with how we play, how the system has changed. But that won't take away, for now, it won't take away the goal. It's a high. It means we have more firepower. You scored so many goals without him. Now you add Shalulile on top of that. That means more goals. So I just see danger, Matata fella for the for the opponents, and then it also means within the group we are on, and then now everyone has to wobble because now the main man is back. Now, not to say the other players, second tier players, but Shadley has been the top goal scorer for 2 seasons. So everyone now has to up his game, which will mean improvement. Yes, yeah, collective when everyone ups his game. Your thoughts?
I think for the opponents, obviously is a threat. And I think for Mamelodi Sundowns, his availability will push the likes of Domingo and Cassius as well. I think they know that Shalula is a brilliant striker, and with him in the team, it demands them to work extra harder to keep themselves in the team because of that once Shalula starts going to the starting 11, it is difficult for the coach to drop him. But the important part it is that now we can substitute Cassius and put in Peter Shalulu. I think Cassius he doesn't need to spend a lot of minutes in the pitch like he used to, so we can try and promote and try and bring Peter Shalule. I think he has to play the whole 90 minutes. So with Peter Shalule back, that means Cassius can play a certain number of minutes in the pitch.
Or play both of them up top because that and after this game, yeah, Supersport, the game on the 21st, I'm definitely starting both of them up top. But yeah, that's a story for another day. How do we beat Supersport?
I think, first of all, we should stop or play clean in our own half to avoid making those set pieces because of they're a threat when it comes to set pieces, and also they're a team that uses width. That means our fullbacks have to be alert and they don't have to give them space behind where they will deliver crosses. And with Sundowns, we know that we'll dominate, we'll keep possession. But if we lose the ball, we have to ensure that our rest defense is well organized because we know that once they cross that center line and the ball gets to Maseko or Lung, that means they are going to create something because we might be outnumbered, or maybe the pace that they have Supersport will give them an edge and maybe create a goal scoring opportunity. And also, as much as they're a threat on set pieces, but without the availability of Tyson and Dihlokwe, they've been struggling against Golden Arrows. That penalty came from a cross, and I think we can definitely get something from the set piece and the crosses as well. But another part is that with Nhlapo playing as the right center back, he's used to playing as a right back, so you'd find him playing too wide to the right, and it leaves a huge gap between him and Luke Fles. And I believe the goal that Golden Arrow scored, the second one, came from that gap. So I think we should have a forward that will get closer to Nhlapo and drag him out of his position and create a huge space between Nhlapo and Fles. And I think we can get something out of that.
Yeah, no, I concur. Because now what I've picked up is that they get easily outnumbered in the middle field because they play guy double pivot. And once you bypass their middle field, you are in. And they struggle with players who play in the zone 14 area, like Motiping. They struggled with never die against Golden Arrows because the center backs didn't know who never die or so I think Zwane is going to be very crucial with that. And how do I can Nhlapo is not a natural center back. His instinct hides a natural center back. He can't sense danger the way a natural center back senses danger. So hopefully, and not to, I'm happy that their center backs are injured, but hopefully they miss this game and then we get to capitalize on that. And Mvala will be very crucial in this game because in terms of the headers, he's our most important player, defending them and attacking them, I think. But when it comes to defending them in this game, I don't want him to go over the top because sometimes he does go over the top and he can easily get a yellow card in the first half and then now he's under pressure. With a team like Supersport, they're going to bomb and bomb and bomb Bolo. He has to challenge and it might do. So he must always be in control in terms of that. So I think the point that you raised there, the whole in Nhlapo, I think that's where Supersport, if Nhlapo plays as a center back, because of them not knowing who Kimanga Makang, the number 10. Your starting lineup?
I wanted to rest a couple of players, but okay, let's go first at lineup. So I'd have Ronwen, I'd start Mutiba, I'd bring back Grant Kekana and partner with Mvala. Then I'd have I'd haven't Silas my right back. I wanted to rest Tebu, but
they got enough rest, those players. They're only going back to training on Saturday. They had 2 days off, so there's honestly no need. The games the 6 days apart, so yeah.
So I'd start Debza with Allende and Neumayema. Then up front I'd have Temba, Cassius, and Domingo.
Okay. Yeah, we have the same lineups. I also have Williams, Mudau, Mvala, Kekana, Mudiba. But Mudiba, I'm worried he was holding his hammy as he walked off the pitch. I saw the images. So hopefully it's not a hamstring. And yeah, it's not a messed up hamstring. And then Mukwena as well as Allende and Neo as my midfield three up top. I'd have Shiga on the tip of the diamond and then Meilula Le Domingo. Score prediction?
I think we'll win 3-1. I think Supersport have a goal in them, but we'll definitely outscore them.
Okay. I'm going for another 2-1 win and Shalulile and Cassius as well. I won't ask you who will score because our time is up. Guys, apologies for the poor picture quality from Rapelang's side towards the end of the episode. You will see us next week when we bring you the preview of our big clash at Soccer City against Chiefs. Sharp, sharp, Masandawana. Sharp, sharp, Ndorish.
Fede.